incredible stories.
Tonight we start with a story about some trees. Just a simple, pleasant forest of trees.
Only some people believe there's something magical about these trees, something that intertwines the lives of the trees with the lives of the men and women whose names are placed beside them. On the ground below these giants stands a grove of miniature fir trees. Each is dedicated to a person the tree seems to know.
I had a partner that I worked with for many, many years, young man, 42 years old, and I knew his tree had died. Fred had told me that.
He was going up into Canada hunting, on a hunting trip, and I felt like telling him, don't go up there, Stan, because you'll never come back.
The next thing I know, I get a call from Canada. He had died of a heart attack. Right up there, right out of the clear blue sky.
His tree had been dead for about 2 months, roughly.
It seemed like things just gelled out where the person died after the tree died.
The trees were planted by Fred Malone in the late 1950s. When friends dropped by, Fred would ask them to select a tree, which he would then dedicate to them. It was, at the time, nothing more than an act of friendship.
I have no power over this thing at all. I just started this thing. The first fellow that got a tree from me died after I'd given him 3 trees, so I was probably old enough and smart enough to know that something happened. And after that, different ones would come out here, and I'd let them pick out a tree, but I'd make them take a full hour before they could pick it out. In 50 minutes, the thing really hasn't hit them yet, but if they take a full hour, it seems like everybody, it hits them. All at once, there's one tree, there's no other tree compared with it. These are the labels from all the people that had trees, and the trees died, and they died. 15 or 16 of them.
Unexplainably, each person to whom a tree was dedicated died within 2 months before or after the death of their trees.
That Red Lowson, first tree that was ever given. He come out here and he picked out a tree. That was in about 1959. But the tree died. The next time he come around, I let him pick out another tree in a different place altogether. And that tree died. And then another 3-4 months, I suppose was, he come around again. And I let him pick out the third tree. And I didn't have any trees dying. There's no trees died, they all lived. And that third tree died. And then Red died, see? And it happened to the same fellow 3 times in a row. You could be as dumb as I am and you knew something was going wrong. Here's Al Britz.
This is my brother's grave. Al Britz, he was a veteran. He died November 2nd, 1973. And his tree died too.
I don't know what to think. I have no eerie feeling of any kind. But it happened. I know it happened. I know that the trees died and the people died.
Here's Benton, Vice President of Sears and Roebuck. And I get this news graphic from Sears, and the tree had died. My wife was alive then. She says, there's something wrong with your theory. The tree is dead and he's alive. I get this next news graphic, which is a Sears paper. He dropped over the heart attack. That's how sure I am of this thing. I know what I'm talking about on it. There's no bull about this thing.
What's even more incredible is that the trees don't only predict death. They seem to react even to the changing health of the person whose name they bear.
I've had a half a dozen trees that got kind of dead when they were sick or something. Quite a few leaves died on them. Then they snapped out of it. The tree snapped out of it. I had one in particular, good friend of my wife. She had a semi-stroke and was putting her ready to kick the bucket, and the tree was practically dead. The partner pulled it up. She snapped out of it. I left the tree and it grew. This is that big guy in there, Harold Ayer's tree. First thing he done to come out today to see how it was. And it didn't look too good this summer. He's had 2 heart attacks. It's kind of few dead ones on, but it's snapping out of it here lately.
That's primarily why I'm out here today. I was almost afraid to come out here for fear this tree might be dead. And it's not in the best shape, but at least it isn't dead, and it's growing, so maybe there's some hope.
Most of those who can keep a very close eye on their trees.
He gave me this tree in 1958. And I think of all the people, I think I check mine the most. I come see Miss Malone at least 3 times a year, and the tree looks real healthy. And I hope I am the same way. I'm not really superstitious, but there's so many coincidences happen on these trees that, well, you think about it.
Fred has thought about it.
I quit giving people trees. I said I wouldn't give them tree after about 66. And the reason I said I've quit giving trees because nobody wanted one when they found out the story. Nobody wanted a tree after about 63. They didn't want to know when they're going to die.
Over the years, the ways we get around have changed a great deal. The design of the modern airplane is light years from what the Wright brothers flew at Kitty Hawk. And every year, cars look more and more like what we see in science fiction movies. But bicycles are still bicycles, right? Wrong.
We're at the Ontario Speedway near Los Angeles. And this is a speeding bicycle.
A human being under his own power, without any device, can run maybe 15, 20 miles an hour. With a bicycle as an assist, a human being has been clocked at around 40 miles an hour for 200 meters. That was without streamlining. The International Human-Powered Vehicle Association relaxes streamlining rules to where essentially nothing is restricted so long as the vehicle is completely under human power.
The competition we're timing today is over a 200-meter